you want to be the best mother that you can be, you need to revisit your relationship with your mother. Sometimes we say, I never gonna do what my mom did raising us. Or sometimes we find ourselves sounding like exactly like our moms when we interact with our children. And it's a very interesting dynamic whether we unconsciously follow the same patterns or consciously try to avoid certain parenting patterns that our parents had. And in both cases, it's gonna result into passing on those energetic signatures into our children. The reason for that is because when we're holding certain energetic patterns in our hearts and in our unconscious mind, with the cords of attachment that we have to our mother and to our father, um, this will create certain tension. And that tension would result into certain reactions that we have in dealing with our children. So whether we're trying to do the opposite of what our mother did, or we end up doing exactly what she said or what you know um, she decided to do in certain situation, we end up passing on those patterns into our children. And the only way to really free ourselves from certain generational trauma, certain generational misbehaviors that aren't serving us as human species, is to make peace, to fully come into acceptance of our own childhood, our own upbringing, and resolve those chords, those emotionally charged chords that we have, especially to our mother, because we are heavily carrying the genetic memories that our mother were also carrying. One of the experiences that we have as human souls during our childhood is that we see our mother and father as God. We are in the spirit world connected and one with God, depending on the level of evolution that we are on. But on some level, we do feel that union with God. And once we materialize into this physical body, we find God through our caregivers, which usually are our mothers and fathers. And with that comes the expectation of being perfect in carrying that sacred responsibility of being a parent. But we know we chose them for a reason. We chose them to be our parents because we wanted to learn certain karmic lessons that we have with them and the lessons that we want to integrate into our spirit. And because of that, of course, they're not going to be perfect. Of course, they're going to let us down in one way or another, create certain um, responses and misbeliefs about life in us with the way that they treat us, so that we can learn from those experiences. So, of course, we have beautiful, beautiful connections and experiences with our parents that nourishes our souls, and many, many experiences where we don't receive that divine love that we expected to. So, as an adult who is becoming a mother, I feel it is time to unburden my mom with the expectation of being a perfect mother. Because more and more that I'm preparing myself to embrace the role of motherhood, I'm realizing I'm not going to be perfect at all. And I'm going to fail. in many ways. And that's the beauty of it, because I have a child who unconditionally accepts me. And by being able to have that line of communication open about my imperfections and to truly know myself, know my own upbringing, and know what I carry, I'm able to provide a more realistic image of myself to my child. So we both can grow together and there is no separation of an authoritative figure of mother and a child. We both are students in a school of life. The only difference is that I lived a few years more than my child on earth, and I get to be the guardian of the child. So I have, of course, more responsibility. That comes with the great pleasure of being showered with unconditional love. So training ourselves, training our children to tap into instant forgiveness for ourselves and others makes life much, much more easier, because we know that we all make mistakes. And that's one of the ways that we learn on earth, by making mistakes. We're not perfect, and we're all here to learn. So let us celebrate our mothers for all that they've done well, and let us let go of our expectations of wanting them to be someone whom they're not. They're not gods, they're humans. Even though, with the beautiful love, divine mother love that flows through each mother's heart, they do carry that holy love for us on many levels, whether we feel it or whether we're not. As mothers, we are carriers of that unconditional divine love. And through our life as a mother, we get to learn to embody that love. Namaste.